Happy Halloween! And we're here for some spooky zero to hero action as we get set up for another Sorare game week where we're looking to take a bunch of zeros, a bunch of guys that don't cost very much, that aren't superstars in world football, and cobble them together into a successful Sorare strategy where we can start to win and bring in some heroes into the club. As well as while we're doing that, scouting across all the best budget players available on Sorare, giving cards away to the Sorare scouts and managers around the world that tune into the content and support the Zero to Hero series. And I must say, guys, for this one, I'm pretty excited because we've cleared out the decks a little bit. We've had the card giveaway winners redeem their rewards and all the rest of it. We've got last week's winner not claimed the Romero card yet. So when we come back next week, if that is yet unclaimed, we'll actually have two cards to give away on this video today. We'll be giving away the Michel Ange Balikwisha to one of the random comments on the last episode of Zero to Hero, but on one of the comments, and stay tuned for what the criteria is, we'll potentially be giving away two cards. We'll be giving away the card that we bring in today for the Cap 260, which is the scouting mission we've got this week, and we might have that Romero to give away as well, because with the changes we've had on Sorare, the Zero to Hero series isn't attacking warm-ups and tutorial modes and all that anymore. We're actually attacking all the specialist competitions. So I've got a little list of a lineup here for the Euro fan package thing, and I've been consistently getting teams into the top 15% in these competitions without having a limited card. So I'm quite confident, or I'm quite hopeful, that we could do something quite fun with this one. But outside of that, otherwise, there's not really anything else going on for this strategy. We're not doing multi-entry and playing one limited. The prize pools have came back for these competitions. They were away last week. They are back now. It's top 5% are clipping boxes, which is, it's still fine. We can still aim for that. But I do feel with the gallery that we've amassed, this week especially, going after the Cap 260 is the way to go. But depending on how the fixture list goes out and how the roster pads out, we might go back to some of those warm-up competitions and look to exploit them. So we're opening more boxes and we're giving away more stuff to you guys. But as we look at the Cap 260 competition here at Limited, it's giving away 900 cards, and the top 20% are going to be picking up boxes. At the moment, at point of recording, there's 12,500 entrants. So the thick end of 2,500 boxes are going to be given away in this one. And because it's a cap mode, I fancy my chances. I fancy our chances at pulling something out here, because we've got Dominic Ryman, who is on a bit of a stinking L5, but is a bit of a hero of a goalkeeper, one of the best budget goalkeepers we could find on the market. And we've also got two defenders that are quite peaky fullbacks that, maybe one of them's got a good game, maybe one of them's got a tough game, but they're both away from home. So let's see how that shakes out. We actually don't have a midfielder for this week, and that's where the scouting mission is going to be really focused, because Teji last week got double decisive, but not in the way we would like. A red card and an error led to goal is absolutely a car crash for Teji. So we actually have no midfielders for this. But then when it comes to forwards, we've only really got Aspas. We don't think Michel Ange Balikwisha is going to be playing this game week, and then that would leave our extra man to be Benji Henriks. So we've got a gap, we've got a spot to fill, 53 cap limit, and a midfielder. Earlier this week, we had some massive news. FC Barcelona has officially been minted. It's been officially created on the blockchain as its own bona fide club. And we have joined the Meta Football League MFL, which is a football manager style game on the blockchain where you can buy and sell clubs, players, and everything else in between for real money, as well as compete for real money on the leaderboards. Earlier this week, we dropped a video unboxing it all and getting to grips with founding the club, bringing our first team together, and all that good stuff. If you did miss it, I recommend you check it out. We had an absolute blast. And if you're looking to try out MFL, and if you click on the link that's in the description of this video, you'll get all the beginner bonuses to get your account started and support all the content here at the channel. So I thank you in advance if you do so. If you get stuck or if you've got any questions, jump into the comment section of this video and I'll come and sort you out. And a huge thanks again to MFL for sponsoring the content and sponsoring the channel. And the number one way to scout for a player like this is using our old friends at Sorare Data, where we go onto the game week tab and then we hit the pick scores, and then we get this lovely table here. And the great thing about this table is we can alter the criteria. We can set the cap score that you're missing, what position, and if you want to keep the card in a region to fit with the rest of your gallery, again, you can filter by whatever region tickles your pickle. But for me, I don't want to have any borders. I don't have any restrictions on this. I'm looking for the best bang for buck, the best points per pound that we can possibly get our hands on to fill that midfielder spot, to help, the one good defender, the one okay striker that we've got. And, the primary thing we're aiming to do is break into that top 20%. And if we can break into the top 900, fantastic, even better. And I've already had a good scan across this list for the specific cap budget that I've got left remaining, as well as trying to look at guys that are quite nominally priced, guys that don't cost too much, and we're looking for guys with really good fixtures. And I've been up and down this list a few times to try and find some of the best shouts available for this game week in this kind of criteria. Your criteria might vary ever so slightly, but I'm sure some of these players will be great shouts for you. And the first one that really piqued my attention was Brendan Aronson. Old Bubba is still in England. He's still in the Championship with Red Bull Leeds United, or Leeds United Red Bull, whatever we're going to call them. And the thing I really like about Brendan Aronson is he's very much an attacking midfielder. I don't think you would mistake him for a defensive midfielder at all whatsoever. And Leeds are doing pretty well. They're doing well enough. They're at home to Plymouth this game week. And what Brendan Aronson's been showing for Leeds recently enough is getting 10 to 15, 16, 17 AA is there for him. He's in good form in that regard. He's getting 90 minutes more often than not, and he is decisive capable. Now granted, in this little spell of form there's maybe not enough decisives to be really excited about, but Brendan Aronson is very nominally priced for a limited card. We're talking about £1.60, £2, something like that. Very, very nominal. And at home at Plymouth, this could be a high scoring game for Leeds that really, excel their opportunity to try and get promoted. And if they were to, score 3 or 4 goals, I think Brendan could be on for one of his best performances that we've seen this season. And that's going to look like over 75, isn't it? That's going to be an 80, a 90, something like that. So I do think Brendan is a really good pick. And depending on what region and everything else is your criteria, there's not many that look a lot better for me, especially at the cap price that I've got. Now, there was a bit of a glitch when I was doing this, and it didn't automatically update that I was looking for cap picks of 53, and I got super excited when this guy came on. He won't do for me, but it might do for you. He's 39 years of age. He is an official Barclays man, as it were, and that is Santi Cazorla. Now, Santi Cazorla at 39 years of age at Real Oviedo. You might be thinking, Quinny, you have lost your marbles. But for a limited card, we're talking about £2, £1.67, something like that. And his scores recently for a 39-year-old in La Liga 2 have been pretty impressive. Now, he's not clocking 90 minutes that regularly. He can get the decisives. His AA is like nailed on. He's going to get around the 20 mark, maybe even a little bit more. What about if we filter this by home? Let's do 3 months, yeah, for that good stuff. And then let's have a look at home. Yeah, at home, a lot more formidable, isn't he? 30 AA is on the cards. Decisives are capable as well. And, for a wee bit of old gold, for a cap mode, you had to bring in a ringer. Santi Cazorla feels like a great shout. And in a similar vein, but on the totally opposite end of the scale, I'm a huge fan of this guy. I cannot believe Arsenal let him go. But he's back at Porto, and that is Fabio Vieira. Very, very good, very high scoring midfielder cards generally. And his card, like classics, £2 or £3 we're talking about, very nominal. They're at home to Estoril this game week. Very good game for Porto. And as we can see, since he's returned, he must have had a bit of an injury or something. He wasn't really playing. He's come off the bench for 4 games in a row, and then finally starting, getting 64 minutes against AVS last week. So if he is back in to start, all we need to do is look at his all-time for Porto, and you can see, look at his last stint especially. There's against Estoril there, off the bench, 76. Portimonense at home, 100. Santa Clara at home, 100. So against this level of opponent, even off the bench against Tondela, 80. This is a good game for somebody like Fabio Vieira, and he is an actual, I don't want to say he's world class, but he's like a top class footballer. So if you're not after like a Cazorla or something like that, then somebody like Fabio Vieira might have utility beyond just the cap 260, as it were. But the player that's the most appealing to me that I'm going to be bringing in, and one of you guys are going to win next game week, or next episode of the Zero to Hero, is Xherdan Shaqiri. Now, I feel extra confident on this for a few reasons, right? But he's hitting form in a big way for Basel at the moment. They did just lose to Young Boys in the midweek, but the classic price, we're talking about £1.60 or something like that. He does have in-season cards at under £5, and his scores for Basel over the last week or so have been what we were hoping Shaqiri would be in Switzerland. Obviously racking in 125 points against Winterthur. Last weekend, midweek here, he did get an assist and bring in a 70 in that 3-2 loss like we mentioned. But Basel this weekend are playing Winterthur again, but this time they're at home. So Shaqiri, last time away from home, they won 6-1. He did 125 points. This time they're at home. As long as he does 100, who cares, eh? Now, I actually think coming into this game week that Monaco have probably got one of the best fixtures available. And because of the French specialist thing, a lot of those cards, especially the limiteds and whatnot, will probably find themselves in there. But they've got some great options. I'm looking at least Ben Seger here, who is a midfielder card that would fit my cap, certainly. He's been playing a lot as a guy that gets AA when he is in good form. He's a dribbler, he's a playmaker. He can break those high 70s and into the 90s. He just needs a game where he's getting decisives and he's on the ball often enough. And I think this could be a game that would be decent to pick up a Ben Segar for, whether it be rare or limited. Limiteds are way more affordable, circa £10 and all the rest of it. And at 19 years of age, this guy's getting a lot of hype and a growing reputation. He could be a fun card to bring in to use in a Cap 260 that you might keep further on and beyond. The same can be said as well for Magez Akliush as well, also of Monaco. His cap is a little bit too punchy for me, but the limited card, again, a wee bit cheaper than the Ben Segar. He's maybe not quite got the same press or the same attention out there. And his scores are maybe better. I'd say they're definitely better. He's getting more decisives. He's been a bit more clinical. And he would be a great option. Maybe not for me, sadly, but for maybe one of you guys. And with them at home to Angers, if Alexander Golovin does start, Sorare Data doesn't have them on to start. Predictorify does. So I'm going to imagine that Golovin is on to start for this one. L15 of 50 is absolutely fantastic. And he's maybe like in season, he's like treble the price of a Shaqiri, double the price of a Shaqiri. Classic card is very affordable at £3 odd. And the thing with Golovin, he does have a horrible injury record, but he's clearly, like, look at the AA. 20 all around is very achievable for Golovin. Very achievable. And in a game where he's going to get a decisive on top of that, it feels like it's going to be a great game for him. What stopped me getting Golovin? It's maybe just that there is a little bit of jeopardy on whether he's going to start or not, whereas with Shaqiri, I feel that that's a bit more nailed on. Now, I've deliberately brought in and spent an extra couple of quid on an in-season Sherdan Shaqiri Limited because I want you guys to be motivated to win this card. Now, this could be... It could be the Switzerland Oscar. I really do feel that that's the way his trajectory's on. And, you know, I love you guys winning good cards from the giveaways here on the channel. So I thought, let's get that in season one because that'll be way more useful to a lot of you guys out there. And hopefully it's a little bit more exciting. And then that means when we finish this Cap 260 team off now, like Ryman, Munoz, Henriks, Aspas, they're all fine, aren't they? But now Shaqiri, it feels like we've got a bona fide captain selection in here because the captain score of 50% is something that will make or break any success in this. And we want a guy that is genuinely 100 capable. So we're hoping for some bombastic fullback action with Munoz and Henriks against their respective opponents away from home. And we're just really hoping that Diego Aspas against David Soria, who I've got a super rare of, we're hoping if anything breaks that clean sheet, Aspas is involved in it. And yeah, I think we could do really, really well in this one. So wish us luck, and we'll be giving away that Shaqiri, as well as maybe that Romero, to one of you guys on the next episode. I think this team's looking good. Against 12.5, maybe 13,000 entrants. Top 10, top 15% is a nice benchmark that we've been hitting recently, and as long as we keep that up, we'll have something to unbox. We'll have maybe a card to win as well. And next week we might even be giving away a ton of stuff if we've got cards and boxes and all the rest of it. So it should be a really good one. So I'm looking forward to catching all the comments and all the suggestions on this week's video to get involved in the giveaway. And the criteria we're going to be aiming for next week, the next specialist competition we're going to be attacking, is anti-stacks. So we've got a Leipzig, a Magdeburg, a Crystal Palace, and a Celta Vigo player nailed in. Montpellier for Teji Savernia will be back in fold. So there's not actually that many restrictions on the teams we're avoiding to get at some anti-stack action for next game week. So it'll be really interesting to hear who you think is the standout anti-stack pick of a guy that doesn't touch any of the clubs that we've already got in this gallery, but do have a great fixture, can be a captain potentially, and help us get back into, again, the top 20% or even the top 960 positions, which is a little bit more generous in this game week, to try and get in amongst the prizes, to try and get in amongst the cards. But this week, guys, we do have a winner to give away for the Michelle Ange Balikwisha. So thanks to everyone that got involved in the comment section on the last video. And good luck to everyone that gets involved in the comment section of this video to try and win Shaqiri next week, as well as the Romero, or maybe whatever else we win as well. So good luck to you all. Thanks to everyone that entered last week, of course. And the winner of the Michelle Ange Balikwisha is Flinda. Congratulations, friend of the channel, regular contributor. Love to see that. And his suggestion for this week's video was Yves Bissouma. Yves Bissouma is way too cheap in his book. Great contribution. Congratulations again. And good luck to all of you on this game week as well. On screen and now with some other stuff that we've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more content like this. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one.